Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa Mitraken. That's my lovely assistant Shelby. And today we have another amazing glow effect to share with you. If you follow my channel, chances are you already know my #1 trending video from a couple of years ago on how to color amazing backlit characters. Today, I have a special treat for you. This is a brand new page, and we're going to apply a brand new glow effect to it. Ordinarily, I would teach glow effects on darker paper, gray toned or tan toned or lilac even, for maximum drama effect. However, by popular demand, I am doing this one on lighter paper. A lot of you color in books or in magazines. Coloring Heaven magazine, for instance, prints their pages on white paper. So if you're coloring directly in a magazine, you will have to be able to apply this effect to white or cream paper. The paper that I'm working on is Strathmore Cream. It's just a little bit off white. However, all the steps will be exactly the same for white paper. I want to have the skull glowing. It's a magical mystery fantasy skull, and it actually glows. Perhaps it's made out of crystal or something. The point of the skull glowing is so that we can practice glowing objects as well as the light that emits from the glowing object. Priming your ultimately glowing objects is a really good habit to get into. If you're working on darker paper, then it's obviously going to stand out right away. If you're working on white or cream paper, however, the advantage of priming the object that will glow is that you can diffuse the outlines a little bit. The trick to glow effects is to hide the outlines as much as possible on the object that will actually glow. And while this white Prismacolor pencil isn't deleting my outlines completely or hardly at all, it's making a little bit of a difference. And in my case, working on cream paper, you can already tell the difference between the cream and the white. My skull is clearly lighter. Now we can move on to the background. My vision for this is all in purple and yellow. I highly recommend that you do have a vision before you get started. Have an outcome in mind. I often recommend to my students to use reference photography, to do a lot of visual research to see the look that you're going for. Don't just make up colors on the spot. When we just pull pencils out of the box that look attractive to us in the moment, sometimes the entire composition doesn't really come together nicely in the end. So have a clear plan. For me, this is dusk. The moon is barely visible. It's not nighttime. It's kind of this purpley, dusky, hazy atmosphere. Very fantasy, very mystical. And then my two glow effects will be golden yellow, very pale, also very mysterious and very magical. That's my look, which is why I'm priming my background with multiple layers of purple and lilac. If you're interested in glow effects, if you like other types of glow effects, I actually teach an entire course on fantasy glow effects where I go in depth into the theory behind glow effects, how they work, and I offer 9 unique pages to work on, spanning over 80 short video lessons. So if you want to take your glow effect coloring skills even further than what you can get out of a single YouTube tutorial, then consider taking the full art course in my own private art academy. So notice what's happening here with the background. With my first layer of this strong lilac, I covered everything pretty much evenly. The only things that I left white are the skull, the moon, my two glowing objects, and that underbelly of the raven that will have that underglow from the skull. Now I'm coming in with a darker lavender or violet or purple to layer that background to increase the darkness behind the raven, to increase the darkness of the atmosphere, and also to give more volume to the flowers. Notice also how I colored the background around the moon. I left a little bit of that diffused glow around the edges of the crescent moon. That's very important. Make sure not to color with purple all the way to the edges. And with this second darker color, I am taking my time. At this stage, I've spent over an hour on shading. That's a really long time, even for me. That's how important backgrounds are. That's how important it is to really put in that layer with a very steady hand, lots of patience, very smooth gradient transitions. I am now an hour and a half into this coloring. That's insane, isn't it? And only now I'm starting to add some other colors. Since I have this vision of the glow being golden and peachy and yellow, my next color is this dusty rose. And I'm adding it on the periphery between my purples and my white. Continuing to clean up my gradient transitions, I'm bringing in a very pale blue for that transition from purple to white around the crescent moon. And now I'm coming in with a very pale yellow. We don't want a bright yellow yet. For now, find the palest yellow that you can and add a few more layers there. I'm working with Prismacolor pencils on this, which I find very friendly for gradient transitions and layering. And in fact, I teach my entire course on fantasy glow effects in Prismacolor pencils. Will other brands work? Of course they will. Many other brands of pencils will work. Black Widow pencils will work. Castle Art, Polychromos, Inktense, of course, Derwent, and of course, all sorts of different pastel pencils will work beautifully on this kind of coloring. Not to mention watercolor pencils. Those may actually speed up this process quite a bit for you. Now the base is established and we can finally start with what you've all been waiting for, the glow effect. Bring in that bright, obnoxiously bright neon yellow. And by the way, if you're enjoying the show, drop us a thumbs up, drop us a comment below, and if you don't already subscribe to my channel, hit that subscribe button. I have a lot of cool content that I release on a weekly basis. And of course, please share your colorings in my private art club, Tom. It's completely free to join. It is ad-free and drama-free, and it's just an amazing place to meet other colorists and to learn. This is already starting to look like it glows, but we need to up that contrast even further, and we need to give the raven a little bit more definition. So far, it's a little bit monochromatic on the purple side. Everything looks kind of flat in that purple realm. So we need to give it a little bit more depth, a little bit more definition. So start bringing in your darker blues to define that raven. And remember, all of these layers, they're an investment. I know you're getting to these parts where it's darker blues, soon I'll start adding black, and you're probably thinking, why did I just invest 2 hours of my time coloring all of these layers when I could have just started with a really dark pencil? Don't skip the layering part, you guys. It goes a really long way. First, you get the most beautiful undertones and gradient transitions. And second, you are actually building up those layers of pigment on your paper, making it thicker and darker. So the darkness that you get after 3 or 4 or 5 layers of color is actually going to be more intense. You won't see that texture of the paper that a lot of you don't like. It's just really, really great practice. If you want your art to look professional, if you want your coloring pages to stand out from the rest of the stuff out there, layers. Also, if you are watching this in October and 2022, that is, and it's not yet October 23rd, Shelby and I are running a Halloween challenge this year. There's going to be a card popping up in the upper right corner of the screen for you, and I'll also drop a link to the challenge in the comments below. In the challenge, we invite you to color either an undead skin tone or a glow effect. I am now 2 hours and 20 minutes into this coloring, and I'm finally bringing in the black for my raven. The other thing that you will experience when layering is that every new layer is actually physically easier and faster to apply. This black is now layering on so smoothly. I am barely touching the page. I'm barely putting any effort in it. It's just like an afterthought, little black highlights. It's amazing. And look at what it's doing to our raven feathers. They look magical and mysterious, and there's hardly any black in that raven at all, yet he comes across as a blackbird. It's a magical, magical effect. And for the cherry on top, we need to bring in a separate white highlight tool to completely eliminate the outlines on the objects that glow. Now, this can be a white gel pen or white acrylic paint that you're using with a tiny paintbrush. There are many ways of doing this, but find a pigment that you're able to apply over your colored pencil work and over the printed lines. And make sure that your hand is nice and steady for you to actually apply these lines where they're needed. If your hand is not so steady, I would go to acrylic paint and brush rub. What I'm using is this Copic color. I call it the Copic nail polish thingy. It's like my official name for it because that's what it looks like. And I've had mixed feelings about this stuff. I'm going to drop a link to it below so you guys can check it out and see if it's for you. Honestly, it's not my number one tool of choice, yet it's kind of this love-hate relationship that I can't seem to get out of. I really like how thin the brush is so that I can get a lot of that detailed work in. However, the pigment itself can be tricky to work with. Sometimes the brush drips, and that's really scary. And sometimes the pigment actually kind of beads on top of the paper, which is also a little bit unsightly. And now we can have some fun. This is done, but there are a few other things that we can do to make it more interesting. This is something that I like to do for my students, is just to show every possible effect that you can throw at a page for the sake of the tutorial. So another thing that we can do is add stars or fairy dust in the air. This is a moonlit evening or night, so stars seem like a fitting thing. When adding stars, there are multiple ways of doing it. You can add them with a white Prismacolor pencil or the very pale blue Prismacolor pencil, or you can continue adding them with the white pigment that you just used for your last step. But the trick to adding stars is making sure that they're random. And that's very difficult for a lot of people. As soon as you start putting dots there, your brain automatically creates a pattern, and before you know it, polka dots. We don't want polka dots. To assure that your stars are random, keep certain things in mind. Try to create clusters of stars here and there. That will help randomize them. Also control the size of your stars. Make sure that some dots are visibly larger than others, and some are barely visible because they're so tiny. That will really help you a great deal. One other thing that you can do to make your glow effect stand out even more is add even more darkness. I'm using a Copic marker to create all that darkness around my page. I actually don't want this to be so stark and black, so I cut mine out and put it on this decorative Japanese paper that I have. And I find, for me, this is the mood that I was going for. A magical, mysterious, very soothing and relaxing kind of an evening with some glow effects in it. And I think I achieved that quite nicely. The links to everything that you need are in the video description and in the comments. The links to where you can find this page, where you can find my other pages and books, the links to my art academy, my private art club, and all that jazz. If you like what I have to show you, if you like my lovely assistant and the work that she does, which is basically snore, again, please give us the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Happy coloring and happy Halloween. I love you guys. Bye.